Hey, folks, welcome to Affiliate Nerd Out. I am your nerderator, Dustin House, spreading that good word about performance marketing. You're going to find me every Tuesday and Thursday here on LinkedIn Live at 12:15 Pacific time. So please consider putting it on your calendar, smashing that subscribe button on YouTube, and hanging out with us on the live chat I've got going on. Today, my guest, CEO of Round Barb Labs, is DeGrange. He is a legend in this industry with a ton of experience. We shared some CJ time together, and I'm super excited to get his input on affiliate marketing. Ty, welcome to the Nerdatorium.
Thanks so much, Dustin. Quite an intro, and happy to be here. Grateful to chat with you today.
Well, we had a mishap early on a couple of months ago. You got sick on the last minute. Things are going to happen like that. I'm just so glad and grateful that we rescheduled and had the time to do this. And you instantly came in and we started nerding out about baseball, and that is always a great start.
Yeah, I mean, you're rocking the Will the Thrill background. It's a great way to start the
Yeah.
discussion.
Some people this background goes one of three ways. Baseball nerd comes on and it's like, is that Will Clark? Absolutely. Some people come on and they're like, oh, I hate Will Clark because they're Cubs fans. And then like Mike McNerney. And then there's the third that actually love it. And then you're in that state. That's always a good start. So we're gonna have some live Q&A going on. Please drop any questions you have for me and Ty in the chat today. Our question of the day that I'm going to put in the chat: is affiliate the most defensible channel? Now, somebody will argue that affiliate marketing isn't a channel. I'm not going to get into this argument right now, but is affiliate the most defensible channel? You tell me. Tell me why. And then Ty is going to get into it a little bit. But before we do, Ty, who are you?
um, CEO of Round Barb Labs. We're a premium affiliate marketing agency. We also do paid search and paid social. Come at it from a very data rigorous perspective. Been in the game of the agency life for 10 years now. I'm in Austin, Texas. Absolutely love it down here. Just enjoying dad life with my wife and two kiddos. I have a 3-year-old daughter and a 10-month-old boy, and a couple of lab mixes running around northwest Austin. So we're enjoying it. I'm actually here at Capital Factory in downtown Austin. Um, there's a lot of good energy down here, so we've really enjoyed our time here so far.
Oh, I would have wore my entrepreneur shirt from Capital Factory. I still have that from the days that WP Engine was in that office. It was really
That's
cool.
that's a great throwback reference. That's impressive.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was up on that top floor. They had a good thing going on in there, and WP Engine was their first startup that really blew up. So that has a deep seated memory in my brain. Um,
That's
uh,
awesome. Very cool.
awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Are you around Brooke Schaff over there? Like you guys hang
Yeah,
out? He's gotta be close.
yeah, we've gotten together. There's a really good community here in Austin. We actually
Yeah.
host a little happy hour quarterly, and Brooks over in Dripping Springs area, which is
Yeah, that's right.
even cooler and more remote than where I am. But he makes it into downtown on occasion. So
Yeah, that's right. Who's the other guy that's down in Dripping Springs? Can't remember his name. All right, moving on. If you would like to be my guest in Ty's hot seat here, go to dustinhouse.com/nerd and submit a topic that you'd like to nerd out about. I would love to have you on my show here. We are booked through February, but I'm always looking for new nerds to come on in. All right, let's talk about Round Barb Labs. Give me some kind of name origin story. I have no idea how you came up with this company name.
yeah, so my last name in French translates loosely to "from the barn."
Huh.
So that was one aspect of it. And then where I grew up in Santa Rosa, Sonoma County, there was an old round barn literally within a stone's throw from my home and my family, ranch. And so it was a really cool memory to kind of connect to my family legacy and how I was raised, around animals and the outdoors. And in a cool area, and the barns are really unique. I'm a mild architecture nerd and a mild history nerd, maybe not so mild. And there's a very few amount of these round barns. Sometimes they're octagonal ish, and this one was very round. It's kind of a beautiful old structure from the late 1800s. Sadly, we lost it in the Tubbs fire, among
Uh,
other historical artifacts. But the memory and the tradition live on. And the other cool thing is the round barns actually were more efficient. So when they were introduced versus rectangle barns, they were actually getting more area with the same material. So
mhm.
trying to kind of integrate a theme of efficiency and thoughtfulness to what we do is also part of it. So lot of reasons behind it. Hopefully that gives people an idea of how the heck I came up with this. The labs part is also very important to me because the testing, the data, the experimentation is a huge part of how we think about growth, how we think about affiliate and partner marketing, how we think about paid social and search marketing, how we think about a lot of things, and even the name of our little pod, always be testing. So it's a very um, yeah, lot of good meaning in that question.
Love it. There's so much. I was raised on a farm, so I am familiar with barns, and I know how efficient it is to make a rectangle barn rather than a circle. I don't even know the logistics to making a round barn. It sounds nearly
Yeah,
impossible, but it does make sense that it
I
is more efficient for farming
yeah,
wise.
I think at this point barn builders are more in demand than marketers probably.
Especially with these California fires we got going on. We got lucky this year though.
It was a
Can't
good year.
complain
It
about
was a
this
good
year.
year.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, love the name, words, and story. Tell us what you guys are doing and who you're serving out there.
Yeah, we've been fortunate to work on some really exciting brands, MetaQuest, Future Fit, Hatch, Grammarly, Atlassian, to name a few. We've kind of realized that it seems like innovative brands, we view kind of like that $20 million a year kind of minimum threshold. Ideally, innovative brands is kind of what we're going after, and who seems to be kind of connecting, clicking with what we're doing across affiliate and supporting it with paid marketing. Um, I would say that it definitely gears a little bit more towards direct to consumer e-commerce. That's where most of our experience lies. That's where there's a lot of excitement, but we're very grateful and love the fact that there's some kind of diversification there, and there's a good mix of brands. We've worked with a lot of early stage over our history, and I think over time we've gotten more, upstream as we've developed our systems and process and people. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at, and obviously a huge element of that is leading with that, affiliate partner um, marketing conversation, which is near and dear to you and I and a lot of the audience today.
Beautiful. All right. So the D2C market, 20 mil. You mentioned something innovative partners. Where does that fall in the realm of like top of the market product versus challenger product? Is that like in the middle? Like where's the innovative product?
Yeah, I think it's usually a kind of a mix, right?
Okay.
I think there's a number of factors we all look at to evaluate an opportunity, just like a prospective client's evaluating us and saying like, what are these things that check off the box? And so I think we're trying to take that approach, right? Post product market fit, standing up some elements of paid marketing within the stack.
Mhm.
Maybe, as we'll talk about later, like when is one ready for affiliate? It,
Yeah.
it requires a certain level of maturity, as you know. And so I think once they reach that level of volume, traffic, product market, post product market fit, launching some demand gen or some paid marketing, it really does signal that they're on the right track. I think one thing people often forget about is kind of like the monetization and retention pieces of the mix. If you don't have those things, it's difficult to really invest properly in acquisition and in paid marketing.
Gotcha. Um, all right. So when you're serving these clients, I've noticed around the internet that you've always or often talked about having a moat. around your affiliate program, and like your affiliate
Mhm.
program is that castle. Can you tell us more about this theory that you have?
Yeah, I think, I've enjoyed kind of progressing our thought process and writing through our Flywheel newsletter,
Okay,
and that's kinda helped formulate a lot of how share out how we think about, affiliate marketing and doing it right, doing it the right way, um, and also kind of have an open dialogue with folks that have questions about how we approach things. But to step back and think about it, I think that Google and Meta are don't appear to be going anywhere. I think it is an interesting concept though, because they have and can essentially shut you down anytime they want to, right?
sure.
It's not common. It's not a super high risk for a lot of brands, but what I view it as is affiliate offers a couple of different things, and one of them is a kind of a mode opportunity where instead of having all your eggs in one basket or two baskets, and we talk about this a lot in diversification of partners within an affiliate program, as you
Sure.
know, um, you've got your eggs in 10, 20, 250, 10,000 partners
Hmm.
ba- baskets. Much better protection in some ways. Is there risk with affiliate? Is there challenges in affiliate? Absolutely. But the other cool thing about affiliate is it could be a really exciting trust mechanism because yes, you can work with influencers, and I kind of view those as part of one large umbrella. And I think, you know, Google and Meta certainly have designed to kind of bring more of that into their ecosystem. TikTok's actively done a really good job of that,
Hmm.
but you
Agreed.
can't exactly acquire trust through Google just in a vacuum. You've got to do it through customer reviews and other mechanisms. You can't exactly acquire trust through Facebook, running Facebook ads, talking about paid marketing, right? Whereas with affiliate, you can acquire trust. You can get on CNN, you can get on a gift guide, you can get on Consumer Reports, you can get on Men's Health, you can get on, Meredith's Amazing Properties. Like the list is immense in terms of cultivating and creating trust and really high quality content that is spread across a lot of different properties that could be evergreen. It could have all sorts of different tactics and strategies deployed seasonally or
Hmm.
using a mix of influencers or a mix of audio and video. So I love how it's constantly changing. I love how it's constantly new partners to go find and acquire and court to bring into your program. And I think it's a really nice diversification layer, as you've seen, and I think a lot of folks understand that there are some brands that are getting 5% of revenue from affiliate, 10% of revenue from some even as high as 30% of revenue from
For sure.
affiliate. So what a nice diversification layer. Is it going to be your entire paid marketing mix? Absolutely not. Are you going to still want your Google and your Meta working and firing on all cylinders? Absolutely. But um, in that sense, I think it has potential to have moat-like tendencies and help. And you can also learn a ton. Like you can get a so much tangible, valuable, marketing business feedback from treating your partners like partners and your
Hmm.
affiliates like partners as opposed to disposable, dare I say it. Some brands don't really see it long term. And so I think those that approach it long term, that care, that communicate, that really aim to strike up a mutually beneficial agreement that they can afford is sustainable and pay for. There's ways that it can be more of a moat versus other channels.
For sure, and all on a performance basis, which is the most incredible part about what we do. And you bring up a
Yeah.
great point about the ecosystem of Google ads or Facebook ads can be shut down at any time, and if you have a high percentage of your traffic coming to them and you're depending on those sales, and the employees at your company are depending on them, and then Google decides to shut it down for a week for whatever reason, like you are just hurting. And so the affiliate channel gives you that opportunity. Yes, tracking does come
Right.
down every once in a while, but so be it. It seems like a safer route altogether.
Well, there's another piece of that too, where the likelihood of getting shut down is obviously low, but the likelihood of Timo coming in and spending 6 billion or whatever they did in 2023 is happening as we speak. And so that's a real life example where yes, there are brands that are uh, hypothetically and in reality bidding up pricing in the affiliate marketplace, quote
Mhm.
unquote. Is it happening? Yeah, sure. But being able to pay on the performance basis, as you referenced, mitigates that risk, makes that a typically, I'd say, a top three efficient channel. So another plug for this group
Sure.
and tapping into affiliate if you can do it right. So I think that's another reminder that shutting down isn't always the risk, but getting smoked on your CPMS and your CPCs by someone that's spending insane amounts could be more likely risk.
Great call. And looks like we've got a great question here from Geo, our boy from Las Vegas. What do you think
Watch
of
out.
what do you think of brands and agencies that don't pitch new affiliates to help protect their programs? Awesome question, Geo. What do you got, Ty?
Don't pitch new affiliates to help protect their program. I'm not
Uh,
sure if I follow this question.
I think
It's too inside baseball. No, I'm just kidding.
it is kind of worded a little bit awkwardly, Geo. You're gonna have to work on your grammar. Let's put Grammarly on your computer, please. That's one of your clients, right? What do you
Yes,
think?
sir. Good plug.
What do you think of brands and agencies that don't pitch new affiliates to help protect their program? So I think he's saying you have a good opportunity with a one brand or one publisher that works for
Oh,
one brand, but you bring on another brand and you don't pitch that opportunity. Why
I,
wouldn't you?
yeah, I see his follow up. In other words, they only promote top affiliates.
Mm,
Yeah. Um, Interesting. I mean, I think it's a pretty significant miss, and it kind of goes counter to what affiliate can provide is like this really amazing long tail, as well as some really blue chip partners, if you will. It is, as George is alluding to. So you've got these top blue chip partners that a lot of brands are going to court. It's going to cost probably a higher flat fee or a higher
mhm.
commission at minimum, depending on who you're talking to. Um, so yeah, I think it kind of calls out the notion of there's a lot out there in terms of creativity and mid to long tail partners to consider that people don't always think about.
Mhm.
And so I think tapping into that, looking at backlinks, so there's almost like a little SEO strategy involved, right? Like
Okay.
pub discovery, using the networks, tapping into influencers. So I'm curious to hear more of what George's experience there, because I'm sure he has some knowledge bombs to share, and others might have more follow up questions on that. But that's my initial take.
I have some qualms about programs that won't allow me to be in their program or kick me out if I don't have any sales over an extended period of time. I think there's uh, I just think it's a bad practice and like busy work to kick folks out of your program just because they're not producing sales like you want them to. And I get it. Like maybe you do want to trim your program a little bit just to stay focused on your top partners. But um, at a certain point, like you're really offending people that might be up and coming that built some content around a product and now you're kicking them out of the program for no real good reason. They didn't deserve it. But that's kind of a pet peeve when I see that email of, hey, you're getting the boot. You're not
Yeah,
doing. I don't
yeah,
like it.
yeah,
All right. Well, moving into let's talk more about Round Barb Labs and how you guys utilize data. In your newsletter, you're constantly saying the use of data is incredibly powerful. Let's talk about how you guys use it for your clients.
yeah. I think there's different levels of data, and I'll probably butcher some of the data speak, as our team is fantastic in the area, but I can speak to it. So, you got to have that. I mean, access, cleanliness, interpretation of it, and then it really comes down to what are you recommending to folks around it. I think that's the big miss that I think people often forget is that
Hmm.
clients, people in the ecosystem, it's fine to, here you go, here's data, or here's a lot of metrics, but you and me and everybody else in this ecosystem, they want to kind of simplify a story through the data. They want to understand what to do about, we're down, we're up, we're flat. This is the trend over time. Here's some correlation analysis. Here's some regression analysis.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so those are things we think about. Oftentimes in reviews, oftentimes in making a case to make a particular partner play, or maybe change up commission structure, or approach a new strategy or tactic with a program. Um, we've really, I think maybe it's because of the paid marketing part of the ecosystem around search and social. Search in particular is a very data hungry requirement to operate it. And we've had a number of practitioners over the years that care about data, take trainings, do SQL queries, understand databases, understand looking at discrepancies between maybe what it's showing up for the brand and the retailer. It might be slightly different than what's being shown in the SaaS network tracking, and reconciling that, and knowing that there's always going to be some gaps, but monitoring that delta and making sure that we're not too far afield, and we're keeping a close watch on that. So that kind of, um, it's related to, are we do we have a healthy program? Is there fraud issues involved? So I think generally the team cares, the team practices good data, um, standard operating procedures.
Hmm.
But if you're not accessing it, it's not in high integrity or clean data. It doesn't really matter what comes after that. You kind of have to have that classic data best practice, 5-step system in place. Otherwise, you're not really doing it at all. And if one of those is missing, you're kind of missing the boat. Um, no, we're checking up on tools. What can we use to be more effective with it? I don't think it has to be rocket science or analysis by paralysis, because a lot of the things that we're doing, can be distilled into some reasonably good decisions. But even things like GA, looking at, are UTMs set up properly as it relates to the networks, that can be missed. Um, Monitoring the link structure, all that stuff kind of downstream impacts this large term like called data, which everyone's talking about, in particular in the last few years. So, um, looking at like getting folks trained up on data camp and other things are important to us, and always trying to offer up any kind of learning. I think learning is just a big part of like a lot of the folks on the team, and the ethos of how we want to work and what we enjoy doing. And as your pod says, nerd out kind of requires a little bit of that desire for data and curiosity to be like, okay, did this paid placement actually net out what we wanted, and what kind of a timeline are we looking on that, and how do we beat that or negotiate a better rate in return? So long-winded answer, but it's a big piece of what we want to do, and I think it's similar to how I think leading practitioners want to be playing in paid and performance marketing.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's that next level of affiliate marketing that we're evolving into, where AI is actually helping us save time so that we can evaluate more data, like things like lifetime value of the affiliate sales that they're bringing in is a super valuable metric that I had never even heard about or thought about thinking about until the last year or so. So the data is getting better. Companies are more willing to open up that data to agencies like yourself and consultants, so that we can dive a little bit deeper and get more
Yeah.
granular with it.
Yeah, and e-com contribution margins kind of exploded as a important kind of lever to look at and calculate and bake into metrics, in particular on e-com.
Beautiful. All right. And speaking of data, I'm going to tap into our sponsor of the day, and that is We Can Track. Better affiliate program performance data. 350 platform integrations that they've got. Like, This is not data for the merchants per se. This is for the affiliate publishers out there. Envision an intuitive affiliate publisher solution seamlessly integrating affiliate conversion data, processing, attribution, and integration. One robust platform here with We Can Track. Leveraging We Can Track expertise, they empower affiliate publishers to focus on marketing, optimization, and automation, eliminating manual reporting processes. With 350 plus affiliate network data resources aggregated into We Can Track, with further integrations into Microsoft Ads, Google Analytics, Facebook, TikTok ads, and more, they lead the digital affiliate landscape. Go check out dustinhouse.com/we can track and please support my content making habits and go check them out. All right. Moving back into our discussion, the affiliates that are in your niche, you talked about D2C and hitting that 20 mil mark is like your sweet spot of clientels, and they probably already have an established affiliate program if they're at that point. I would hope so, at least. What is the right time to start for a D2C brand? Is 1 million like the right metric that you should be opening up your affiliate program to?
I think to- total revenue 1 million is not a bad early days starting point
Okay,
for a B2C e-com brand. I would want to see, reasonably healthy conversion rate given the
sure.
relative competitors. I think a reasonably good AOV given the relative competitors. Um, I think something often overlooked is like retention. Are they getting are they getting return buyers to some extent? And that obviously ties directly to LTV that you mentioned earlier.
Hmm.
I think that um, I mentioned this a little bit before, but being able to show that you've stood up paid marketing. Paid marketing is kind of a new growth loop to stand up for a business, and it's
Okay.
a decent lift. And so once you dip your toe into that Google Meta, in particular Meta water, because it's more demand creation versus demand capture, that is when I think you can start to consider affiliate marketing. Um, not everyone agrees with me on this topic, but I think that it's a pretty good signal to see that up, running, working reasonably well. Um, it kind of bodes well for as a validator for affiliate, in my view.
Okay, gotcha. And that's a good transition. Like marketing channels, I'm always preaching the concept of affiliate should not be your first marketing channel that you should be tapping into. You should absolutely be converting better on your website. You should have email drip campaigns. What's your first five? Like in your mind, as a growth marketer that you are, what do you think is the natural progression for a D2C brand?
Yeah, it's a boring answer, but it certainly depends a lot, and
Okay,
it's debatable on stage and type and all that. But
sure.
I like going down the list, like getting getting the product dial. I think the thing that people often forget is before launching the paid marketing in earnest, really having the product really well dialed in, really having to some extent some of the operational features dialed in. It may sound obvious in the
Mm,
e-com space, but fulfillment, customer service, even some inkling of how that could be rolled out and scaled is something to think about. I think maybe some foundational. I have like an organic or direct opportunity. Hey, I've got SEO, at least the technical side, maybe like um, at least checked off on the box, and maybe some monitoring to make sure that that's not a risk, because you
mhm.
want to capture as much of that organic. If you're thinking about earned, owned, paid media, getting the
Okay.
earned and owned dialed in before you really go crazy on paid, I think is a really important idea. Um, our team talks a lot about this as we evaluate. We've got a team dedicated to paid marketing that is different from our affiliate team, but there's a lot of cross learning and communication around that. But um, surprisingly, as much as Meta has its issues and faults over the last few years, it is, as Mike, our COO and led our paid marketing practice, likes to say, it is um, the world's greatest data-driven paid marketing machine. It's just a digital, it's just a powerhouse, especially if you're a new or emerging brand. If you're looking at shopping, if you're looking at uh, data feed, if you're looking at a lot of SKUs where there's a lot of demand already for non-branded search queries or even branded search queries, I think obviously Google is a requirement. You
Hmm.
kind of need both of those. Um, but yeah, and I think obviously all the rage talking about TikTok shops right now. I think that uh, TikTok's become kind of it's not at the volume of Meta yet,
Hmm.
um, from a pure performance perspective. Um, but if you're in consumer, it's probably and you have a meaningful paid marketing budget, it probably needs to be part of the mix in some capacity. I think maybe some more home-centric brands, you might wanna think about Pinterest. I think there's still a play there.
Okay.
Um, I've heard people write off Snap, all as can be, and then they come out with their earnings call and absolutely nail it, and I've heard, uh, some brands are actually doing quite well on it. I think it's hard because you list all these out, it becomes a lot to manage, you have to be very
Sure.
careful too. You have to kinda think about you don't wanna just stock answer these, you wanna kinda say, "Okay, we're gonna come in with a specific approach to this channel. We're gonna come in with this channel with this means." So, it's dependent on where they're at the stage and kind of the brand, but I think that, there's certain in paid marketing, you kinda have to
Hmm.
if not have on your radar, be running well and figuring out pretty quickly.
Yeah, it is an impossible question to answer because every company is different and every program is going to be different. I don't like affiliate in the first three, like regardless. Like I don't think it belongs in there. Always in that 3 to 5. I mean, that's not even a maybe. Like if you're not doing retargeting and your ad campaign, if you don't know your ICP, like ideally, like there's just so many aspects. I love getting your insight on what that looks like though.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so you've had an incredible journey as growth marketing. What is that to you exactly?
Yeah, it's funny, our friends on the PMA were talking about the term incrementality. I always get,
Yeah.
um I hope as I shine light on things like, okay, how are we gonna define this term so that way everyone is on the same page, and it's good practice for teams and agencies and everybody, and because you're surprised sometimes with how people define things. I think the last 10 years in particular, growth has been one of the most misnomer, misunderstood, hot button triggering words in our industry. In some ways, there's not, it's not new, and other things it is. But I think of it as um, growth defined as you're basically thinking about things in terms of loops as opposed to funnels. You're thinking about creating inputs and the flywheels, which is a little shout out to our newsletter.
Hmm.
You're thinking about how to create those inputs so that you're not having to just um, you know, create that over and over again with extra effort. It kind of gets something spinning so you can create word of mouth is a good example, right? Viral growth loop is a good example of that. It's hey, I had an amazing experience at, you know, Chick-fil-A, and so I'm going to tell my friend about it. That's a silly example of word of mouth viral loop. Um, but if you think about growth, it's like how do we create these types of loops to build a business more efficiently? How do we think about acquisition, which involves our world of paid marketing, underneath that, affiliate marketing? How do we think about retaining our users really effectively? So, are they coming back? Are they engaged? If it's especially if it's SaaS or if it's recurring or if it's subscription. And if it's not, you're going to need someone to come back and repurchase if you want to create a meaningful business, unless maybe you're selling engagement rings. Um, uh, and then you have monetization. So you've got your acquisition, you got your retention, you have your monetization. Without those three things humming and firing on all cylinders, there's a lot of complexities with each of those. You don't really have growth. And I think the other thing that's interesting is that growth has become, super product focused. I've just loved nerding out on the Reforged community. It's been an amazing learning learning perspective and the caliber of the talent and the rigor and the thoughtfulness around it. So I think they've really helped. I think um, lay down a lot of the foundational thinking around it that I think came out of the last 10 years. And I think other people are picking it up. And I think the people that are coming into these kind of conversations are just way more, have high acumen around definitions and things like that. We try to publish a lot of things that help educate. It's because we're passionate about it. But a lot of times people don't think about those big three things that go with acquisition. And I don't even, yeah, growth marketing is more, I think it's more of like there's growth and there's performance marketing. I think we sometimes get lost in definitions a little bit.
Totally agree on that. And you're mentioning Flywheel, and it's a great piece of education. I look forward to it, getting that email from you. And as I
Thanks.
continue my education, I'm always trying to educate myself to get better in this career and of what we're
Love that.
doing. How do we connect with you, and how do we subscribe to this newsletter to get more?
Yeah, so find me on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to send you the link to the newsletter. I think it's Beehive, the flywheel, um, and I can give you the exact URL, but it's Ty DeGrange. I'm on LinkedIn pretty heavily, and then a little bit on Twitter as well. So I'd love to connect and happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Outstanding. All right. As we wind down, I want to drop in our lesson of the day. And to me, it is this I didn't know barns were round until today.
And
I
some of
mean,
them, rarely,
no,
but they
but
are.
in reality, I think the terminology that we all share and the passions in this industry are always subjective to everybody's opinions. Opinions are great, and I think that's one of those things that makes this community great. Is we may argue on topics of what incrementality is and isn't, but we're all still a community. We're all still friends, no matter if we're working at opposing agencies or going after clients. I love this community aspect, and you coming on to this and educating us more on it. I really appreciate your time today
Yeah,
here, Ty.
absolutely. Thank you, Dustin. Thanks for all you're doing and having these and hosting and educating folks. I think it's awesome and appreciated. So appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, you got it, man. My guest Thursday, you're gonna find Jorge Barbosa. We're gonna hang out at 12:15 on Thursday Pacific time. If you would like to get my personal AM checklist for my affiliate programs that I run, go hit that QR code or go to dustinhouse.com/checklist. And that's it for us, folks. We'll see you next time, and keep on recruiting. Take care.